Hello and welcome to Energy Today, where we explore the key issues shaping the energy sector and how they impact your daily life. I'm Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada. In today's program, we bring you highlights from the recent signing of the Gas Sales and Purchase Agreement, GSPA. But first, let's dive into the latest development in energy news.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Energy News. Let's get into the latest developments in the energy sector. NNPC Retail Ltd has launched a groundbreaking initiative to encourage the adoption of compressed natural gas (CNG) as a cleaner and more cost-effective fuel alternative in Nigeria. This campaign successfully raised awareness among over 1,000 auto mechanics during the National Artisans and Technicians Conference held in Lagos. The event's primary goal was to educate participants on how to convert gasoline-powered vehicles to CNG, highlighting the environmental and economic benefits of this transition. During the conference, NNPC Retail also showcased its oleum lubricant range, designed for optimal performance in both gasoline and CNG vehicles. Hands-on demonstrations equipped mechanics with the necessary knowledge and skills to undertake these conversions themselves. Baba Shetima Kukawa, Executive Director of Retail Operations and Mobility at NNPC Retail Ltd, underscored the importance of equipping mechanics with the expertise required for CNG conversion, emphasizing that this initiative plays a critical role in Nigeria's long-term energy strategy. He encouraged artisans to pursue these new skills as the country moves towards cleaner, more sustainable fuel options. The initiative received widespread praise from leaders of the Motor Mechanics and Technicians Association of Nigeria, MOMTAN, and the Nigeria Automobile Technicians Association, NATA, who applauded NNPC Retail's proactive approach to future-proofing the industry. In other news, the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to boosting investor confidence in Nigeria's energy sector, particularly in oil. This was highlighted during a recent meeting in Abuja between Senator Heineken Lukpobiri, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, and Nicholas Terraz, the President of Total Energies. During the meeting, Mr. Lukpobiri emphasized the government's efforts to create a more favorable environment for investors by addressing past challenges that have hindered progress in the sector. Mr. Terraz responded positively, expressing Total Energy's intention to further invest in Nigeria, particularly in the Bonga North Offshore Project and joint ventures with Shell Petroleum Development Company and NNPC Ltd. With board approvals in place, Total Energies aims to finalize these investments by the end of the year. In a major development, Chevron Nigeria Ltd has announced a significant oil discovery in the Niger Delta with an estimated production capacity of 17,000 barrels per day. This near-field discovery was made at the Meiji NW1 well, located in Petroleum Mining Lease 49, situated in the shallow offshore region of the western Niger Delta. This discovery comes at a crucial time for Nigeria, as the country faces declining oil production due to issues such as sabotage and aging infrastructure. According to Chevron's chairman and managing director, James Swartz, drilling began on September 2nd and reached a depth of 8,983 feet by September 13. The drilling encountered 690 feet of hydrocarbon-rich Miocene sands extending the existing Meiji field. The discovery aligns with Chevron's strategy to enhance its resource base in Nigeria while contributing to its global exploration goals. The company holds a 40% stake in Oil Mining License 49 in partnership with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC Ltd. As international oil companies increasingly pivot to less risky ventures, this find could provide a much-needed boost to Nigeria's economy. It is expected to create local jobs and generate significant revenue, offsetting the decline in production from aging fields. That wraps up tonight's Energy News updates.
Earlier this week, as part of its 3-year anniversary celebration, the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, launched its ambitious Project 1 million barrels of oil per day initiative. This initiative marks a major milestone in Nigeria's drive to boost oil production.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, of course, time will fail us to read out several other technical, operational, commercial, and strategic initiatives of the Commission, which during the program will be alluded to. We are indeed humbled by the accolades received in the past 3 years, but we are mindful that we are still a work in progress. We assure you, we will not rest on our boards. Whereas a peep in the past is worthwhile and noteworthy, our primary attention is focused on the strategic view of the future of the industry, one of which is the realization of the government's mandate for increased production and enhanced generation of revenue.
In line with our statutory rules, the Nigerian Navy carries out maritime security operations to ensure a safe and secured maritime environment. This is in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and the Armed Forces Act, which mandates us to ensure maritime security for national economic prosperity, in collaboration with other agencies. Recently, the Commission approved the request to allow naval personnel to be deployed to various oil and gas terminals to monitor activities of vessels loading at these terminals. We are grateful to the Commission for this request.
The Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Ltd was present at the event and delivered a goodwill message.
We today know that there are two challenges that we have: integrity issues and also issue of bundle actions. And the government, security agencies, and all other structures of government are responding to this in collaboration with all of us in the industry, particularly the NUPRC, and the Honorable Minister is leading this. And we're seeing clear results. But we also know that we're dealing with infrastructure that have over 50 years older than most people in this room, and they are almost going to their spent life. And we are rising to this as NNPC Limited, that without replacing those infrastructure, you cannot evacuate the additional 1 million barrels that we're going to produce, particularly on the onshore assets. And we thank the NUPRC for supporting us through this, and we know that this is the way to go. This is a legacy that this president will leave, as good as creating the infrastructure at the beginning of oil production in this country. And as we are doing this, we're also proud beneficiaries of the massive reforms that are taking place in the NUPRC. And I congratulate my brother, Engineer Komalape, for doing a great job of being an inclusive system, engaging all of us, and carrying everyone along, leading to where we are today. Even as NNPC Limited today, we are proud to be regulated. We are happy we are obeying all the rules, and the outcomes are coming, and in very long time to come, we'll see the real results that are coming up. And we are part of this. We are part of the additional 1 million barrels, or the new 1 million barrels that we are going to produce, and we'll join him. And of course, as you all know, we'll be part of the 90% of those who will collaboratively produce this, we as NNPC Limited and our partners. Thank you very much for this opportunity and privilege.
Moving on, the country's gas sector recently advanced with the signing of the Gas Sales and Purchase Agreement, GSPA, between NNPC Limited, SPDC JV Partners, and the Bras Fertilizer and Petrochemical Company Limited. This $3.5 billion project will see the supply of 270 million standard cubic feet of gas per day to BFPCL, positioning it as the largest domestic gas supply agreement in Nigeria's history. Among those present at the event were the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Honorable Ekperikpe Ekpo, NNPC's Executive Vice President for Upstream, Mrs. Orisemeyiwa Eyeson, Managing Director of SPDC, Mr. Osage Okumbo, Executive Director of Strategy and Business at Total Energies, Mr. Abiodun Afolabi, and Eni's Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Fabrizio Boland. During the event, Mrs. Orisemeyiwa Eyeson reaffirmed NNPC Limited's commitment to strengthening Nigeria's gas infrastructure, which is vital for driving economic growth and enhancing energy security. She also acknowledged President Bola Tinubu's effort in creating a favorable environment for such significant investment.
We started the journey 2015. We actually signed or agreed to a GSPA, but that was not executed. But today, because of the intervention of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Gas, parties to this agreement have aligned and are here today ready to execute this very pivotal agreement for the betterment of the brass fertilizer company. I must commend Mr. President, who has also provided the enabling environment for us to even go ahead to do this signing. The executive orders, especially the executive order on NAC, is an enabler to assuring that we will develop the NAG resources that we have towards this project. So we must commend Mr. President for his continued support, his responsiveness to the industry, and his unflinching support to making the decade of gas for us a reality.
Stay with us as we delve into the future of Nigeria's gas sector. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Energy Today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can reach us by calling 0706 533 1003 or send an email to energytoday24@gmail.com. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Nicholas Agbo Ella, and the representative of the Bayelsa State Governor, Dr. Tochi, provided reassurances on the security and profitability of the project, highlighting its value to investors.
This agreement represents a significant milestone in our ongoing efforts to monetize Nigerian vast gas resources, which currently stand at over 200 trillion cubic feet. The brass fertilizer and petrochemical project, valued at 3.5 billion, is set to generate more than 1.5 billion annually from exports of fertilizers, petrochemicals, and other gas-based products. In addition to boosting exports, the project will reduce fertilizer imports by 30% or more, saving Nigerians approximately $200 million in foreign exchange annually. Furthermore, it is projected to contribute around $600 million annually to Nigerians' GDP, with a broader economic impact of up to $2 billion per year, thanks to the growth it will spur in related industries. The project will also create over 5,000 direct jobs and more than 20,000 indirect jobs, significantly improving the livelihood of many Nigerians, particularly in the Niger Delta region. This initiative is closely aligned with Nigerians' commitment to achieving zero routine flaring by 2030 and enhancing the achievement of the national gas policy by fully utilizing our gas resources for sustainable development. I want to commend the SPDC joint partners, Shell, Total Energies, and ENI, who have collectively invested in this project. We believe this will significantly advance Nigeria's gas infrastructure to the next level.
With proven gas reserves of 209.26 trillion cubic feet, Nigeria holds the largest gas reserves in Africa and ranks 8th globally. This abundant resource is a cornerstone of the country's strategy for achieving energy security and stimulating economic growth.
We've put in place everything that an investor will require. The first thing an investor will require is peace, security, to ensure that he gets returns on their investment. And the reason is that it's a deliberate effort the government has done by setting up a state apparatus, security apparatus, called the Community Safety Corps, that is being coordinated by a retired Army general. Aside that, we had Duakbo. In fact, Bayelsa relatively is the most peaceful state in the country. If I say relatively, no, I think I'm wrong. Unarguably, unarguably is the most peaceful state. The records are there, and some of our corporate citizens, SPDC, ENI, and all of them, they are here. They can testify to that. Then there is one thing His Excellency has done, by separating the youth from Ministry of Sports and Youth. We have Ministry of Youth Development. And if you see, if there are, there are crises, majority of the crisis is always caused by the youth. And the idea of the governor is to ensure that the youth are meaningfully engaged by creating the Ministry of Youth Development, apart from sports. The GSPA that we are signing is something that is unique, something that will ensure that the economy of the country is being boosted.
So we have reached this very crucial point of signing the gas sales and purchase agreement, GSPA, with the brass fertilizer and petrochemical company for initially the methanol facility. I think we need to really commend the wider team of brass fertilizer, but also, frankly, the SPDC JV partners. Yes, Shell is operator, but our leader in the JV is NNPC. My colleagues in Total and ENI for all the hard work. What we first see is the commercial element, which we are here for, but frankly, we know a lot of work went into putting the technical details in the right place. As a matter of fact, we would have signed this a bit earlier in the year or even last year, but for the need for us to deepen the technical work, to just make sure this doesn't end up a fluke or something we go into and midway we begin to scratch our heads. So I really want to pay tribute to the teams both commercial and technical, that have ensured that at least this phase of this project comes to fruition. This is the very first stage. The job is not done. Once we have signed this GSPA, I think we need to then get to work to make sure that we deliver the project of getting this gas required to the project. So I'm glad this room is, as all of us that will be required to do this in the room today. I've been to a few signing ceremonies. This must count as one of the best attended when I came in and said, I think it speaks to the importance of this very important project. I'm deeply grateful hearing my good friend, the commissioner from Bayelsa State, talking about the enabling environment.
I wish to congratulate all the stakeholders for this great achievement. We understand the effort that it took it took so many years. I was lucky to reach to be in country last year, so I only saw 1 year of the process, but I saw the effort, so I can take some credit for that. And no, I really want to congratulate to all of us, all of you. We know that Nigeria is rich in gas resource, and it's very good to see that the signature of this agreement will contribute to the economic growth and development of the country, and that's why we believe this is important, what we are doing today. So this has been possible thanks to the effort of all the stakeholders, but more than that, thanks to the leadership of the Honorable Minister.
To gain further insights, Energy Today spoke with the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Honorable Ekperikpe Epo. We began by asking how this agreement will serve as a transformative step for Nigeria's gas sector, positioning it as a key driver of economic growth.
Today's event is a very significant one in the development of the gas sector. I resumed office and I was approached by the management of the brass fertilizer that the project has been on, but they couldn't sign the gas sales and purchase agreement, which will give them the grounds to go out looking for investors and, of course, to start the project. So looking at the project that will take about $3.3 billion US, and will create job opportunities for the people of Nigeria, and plus other things that will be added to that. Above all, taking advantage of the rich gas that we have in our country. I look at it as a project that we should go into it, so I decided to call all the JV partners to a table so that the gas sales and purchase agreement could be executed, which is exactly what has happened today. And so that gives the man the free atmosphere to go in looking for investors, bring them, and actually execute the project for the good of our country, Nigeria. On this very note, I appreciate the wisdom of Mr. President for the withdrawal of fuel subsidy and the embarking on the CNG program. And of course, instituting the committee on the presidential initiative of CNG, which is a better way of driving the economy of the nation, especially in the transport sector. It is cheaper, it is cleaner, it is safer. So I think it's the best route. And what we are doing actually is engaging equally the private sector to come in and invest in the gas sector, in addition to what NNPC is doing. So it is something that we should embrace. It is good for our country. It will save money and so many other things. Then, of course, you know that the gas is processed in country. There will be no issue of looking for people to go and export or import petrol into the country to drive the economy of the sector. And of course, you know the importance of transportation. So the federal government is putting everything in place to make sure CNG goes around the entire country for ease of transportation and for ease of doing business. Of course, you know that for commercial enterprise, the CNG, the repayment kits, they are for free. But individuals can take advantage of the areas or the companies that are embarking on the very project. But what I can assure you is that we are working towards providing infrastructures across the state that will help the penetration of CNG for the good of for the use of every individual that is using automobile.
That concludes today's edition of Energy Today. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to reach out via phone and email. From myself and the entire team, it's goodbye.